Gary, Travis, how you guys doing? Leah, hello. Todd, how you doing? Jelly Bean, Clay, how are ya? Sunday evening, who's gonna show up? Sunday evening of a big week coming. I do believe. Okay. Uh, Ellen, hello. Okay, guys. Swamp Watch. 6/30/19. Stan, how you doing? Uh, Bitcoin down 1282. I think they're trying to knock it down. Makes sense if this is going to be a big week. They would do this today, maybe even tomorrow. Still over 10,000, 10,673. Litecoin was down 1196. It was at 120.74. It's a buying opportunity. I'm probably buying more tomorrow. Uh, and then with all of the negative economic data we've been getting from around the world, and more of the talking heads and economists warning of the imminent economic collapse, the stock market futures are up like 211 points tonight. It's all a con game. It's all trying to reel everybody in at the end. Simona, how you doing? Cindy Lou, hello. So don't go for the fake. I mean, obviously, all you guys know, but definitely put out the warning to your friends. Get your money out of the stock market. Get your money out of the bond market. Get your money out of the banks quickly. This could go down tomorrow for the economy. The speculation, the rumor. A lot of people are reporting the fourth, right? Reporting the fourth for JFK Jr., reporting the fourth for a reset, reporting the fourth for the elimination of the IRS and the Federal Reserve. I was talking to some people over the weekend and some relatives, and it was a little bit hard. They know that something's not right. They can't fault any of the analysis, but it's hard for people to say, that JFK Jr. is live and possibly going to be the vice presidential running mate in 2020, that the swamp is going to finally drain, that the reset's coming, the IRS and Federal Reserve ending. Think about the impact on the world. You want to make a splash? And they, over and over, they keep saying, we are redeclaring our independence, that everything changes on the 4th of July. When I put all the pieces to this puzzle together, it makes me believe that something big, huge, monumental is going down on the 4th. We only have a couple of days to wait. But we don't want to quit. I think I got a couple of people over the weekend red pilled. So I think what I'm seeing is virtually every single day it gets easier because people are every single day more and more people are starting to understand that something's not right. They're maybe not sure what's going on, but they know it's not the way it should be. So they're open. They're more open to hear what we have to say, as they should be, because when those warning sirens start going off, those spidey senses. There's a reason for that. That's your instincts telling you it's time to save yourself. It's time to do something. It's time to move. And we're way past that time. Anybody. What the great thing about where we are right now is that anybody getting in tomorrow, they have great prices, still have great prices on Litecoin, still have great prices on silver, all the prepping supplies they need, still great prices, still readily available. That might change in 4 or 5 days. So anybody you care about, you need to make these last ditch efforts. This week has to be it. Let's just say ruin my 4th of July and nothing goes down on the 4th. It doesn't change anything. This stuff is coming. Whether the timing, something changes the timing, or the timing ends up not being right, or for whatever reason this was a distraction for the deep state, against the deep state, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't change the facts that this is going down. The swamp is going to drain. Nothing going to stop it. Is it going to happen on the 4th? I hope it starts on the 4th. If it doesn't, that doesn't change my perspective. It doesn't change what I'm going to do. It doesn't change the facts that this is all coming. The Federal Reserve is ending. The IRS is ending. The swamp is draining. The reset has to occur at some point. The worldwide debt is more than 3 times greater than the worldwide GDP. It's guys, and we've had 10 years of 0% interest that's destroyed insurance companies and pension funds and retirements. The can is over the cliff. They kicked the can as far as they could. It's over the cliff, and now it's falling. And that thump we're going to hear is either the reset or the organic worldwide financial collapse. But it is mathematically impossible for the economy to be saved. They might be able to print some more money and keep it going, but see, I believe that the president is on the offensive now, and that you can tell kind of with his tone and his demeanor when he's talking to these guys. It's like he doesn't care. He's just flat out telling them, and take it or leave it. It's a whole different ball game now. He could care less what those rats are reporting because he's got his game lined up. Everything is in place. All the pieces are in place. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger, and I think that happens on the 4th. And we'll see. Do not let up. Keep pushing. Keep pushing the members, Keep pushing the unity. We're going to get through this by sticking together. We need to get that message out as often as we can between now and the 4th. Again, it's about planting seeds. Every post we make, every phone call we make, every text we make, every email we send, we're planting a seed that, it's something's going to stick, even if it's that we're crazy, right? And that's okay. Just remember it, because on the 4th, or next week, or the week after that, something's going to happen. Someone's going to get arrested. Announcements are going to be made that's going to change your world. And when that happens, these people are going to be desperate for answers. Cognitive dissonance is going to be epidemic. It's going to, just think about it. Here's the double whammy for liberals. Not only do you have to get past the pedophilia, child torture, child sacrifice, child trafficking, adrenochrome, you got to get past the fact that if you're a liberal, you were supporting these people. So, I've mentioned this before. The natural instinct is to rub people's noses in this stuff. We can't do that. We've got to take the high road. If we are truly watchmen, and we are doing God's work, we can't be petty right now. This is the biggest moment in human history. If what goes down on the 4th, what I think is going to go down on the 4th, goes down, or whenever it does go down, it's going to be the greatest moment in human history. Our greatest accomplishment, between us and God and President Trump, we've taken down the evil. We will be taking down the evil. I think most of it's already down. That's controlled the world for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. So there should be no fear. There should be no intimidation. We can't be intimidated now. We can't be intimidated by rejection. We can't be intimidated by fear of ridicule. We've got to reach out to the people we care about. Really, friends, family, neighbors. Now's the time. Because even if, and we know how this goes, we talked to him tonight, it's not going to happen overnight, right? But at least we get the seeds planted. At least we can get as far as we can with them. And then trust me, when this blows, they're going to accelerate their learning curve, because they're going to be anxious. And they're not just going to be calling us, they're going to be on the internet, hopefully on our page. That's the other thing. I think is a good point, is that when we are, I would recommend that everybody prepare an emailing list to everyone so that if this goes down on the 4th, you can, press send to all your family, friends, relatives, neighbors, to send them a message to, hey, there's some crazy things going on. Get back to me, or go to the Watchmen page on Facebook for the information you need. Honest information that you're not going to get on the mainstream media. Send that message out if this goes down, because trust me, people are going to be begging for honest information, right? Because they're going to understand that they've got a lot of fake news, and they're going to be desperate for somebody that they at least believe they can trust. and then we earn the trust, right? By giving these people the best information we can, and basically the message is going to be initially get prepped up as quick as you can, and if this goes down on Friday, that becomes much more difficult. So brings me to another point. In these next few days, if you can afford to get more Litecoin, more silver, more food, more water, bags of rice, bags of beans, don't splurge for all this, prepackaged 3-year shelf life. Go out and just get a few for a family of 4, probably for 3 months. What you do is 50-pound bags of rice, 50-pound bags of beans, probably 2 of each at least. There's less than $200, and you take all your old milk and soda containers and fill them with tap water. That will, could be enough to get you by for a couple of months even. For $200, a family of 4 should be able to get by for a couple of months if you do it this way. And really, we're not talking about surviving for 10 years and being underground. We're talking about getting through a rough patch of a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. If we're talking about maybe possible civil unrest when Obama and Clinton get arrested, or people realize that they're not going to get their pension funds, there could be some upset people. They're probably going to have some pushback from the deep state and Soros with maybe Antifa, BLM, these paid civil unrest. Hopefully, though, and I believe the president knows this is coming. The military has been moving all over the country for the past 2 months, probably 6 weeks for sure. Just saw a video of a friend in Oregon, a big, all sorts of equipment headed north or south. I'm not sure which one, but it doesn't make a difference. It's either headed to LA or it's headed to Portland or Seattle. Either one are going to be hotbeds, right? For potential civil unrest. And again, I've said the last week or so that I believe all of this action that we saw, I thought they might have word of a terrorist attack at the Indy 500. That didn't pan out, or at least if something was going on, it was defeated. But then the next most likely thing is he's positioning assets, troops, and equipment for something like this. He wouldn't just do this, I don't believe, that he would make an announcement like I think is coming and not have the right people in the right places. It's classic Trump, being prepared for anything. So I think that if they, and they're going to do this right, when the crimes are revealed and the evidence, and of course they can't put everything out there, but they can put enough to satisfy people that these people are guilty of child trafficking, pedophilia, child torture, for the adrenochrome, organ harvesting of these kids. It's just, it's disgusting. It's hard to believe this could happen in America, or anywhere in the world, especially here, by the people who we've trusted to run our country. Think about it. It makes you understand how close we came to losing this whole thing and where we would have been if these people had 100% control. It would be hell on earth. So Let's take advantage of this gift God has given us, this extra time, this extra knowledge, Litecoin, physical silver, food, water, medical supplies, ammo, filtration devices. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's what we're doing. Reach out to as many people as you can over the next few days. We're paying it forward. It's what we're supposed to be doing. If you're on this page, you're here for a reason. It's not an accident. If you watch more than a couple of videos and you're back, you're here for a reason. God is telling you something. For those of you who haven't, and most of you have, it's time to stick your necks out. It's time to take the leap. And I know it can be scary because you've got friends, you've got relatives, and maybe a lot of them don't know exactly how you think. You're kind of exposing yourself. What if we're wrong? What if it doesn't happen? Trust me, guys, it may not happen on the 4th, but it's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen on the 4th, we keep going because it eventually is going to happen. And the harder we push, the more we do, the more calls we make, the easier this is going to be for all of us when this finally does happen, whatever day it is, right? President Trump in North Korea. I mean, this guy's... So, in North Korea, Iran is next. North Korea is done. North Korea is in the fold 100%. Iran will be, I think, before the end of July, maybe way before that. At the G20, who does he meet with? Xi of China, Putin. I think they're setting up the final, the final details of they're all coming out with gold-backed currency. America, China, Russia. And think about this. This is the deep state globalist worst nightmare that the three see. They needed us to turn on each other. The worst thing in the world is that we're all on the same page. Where are they going to hide? Where are they going to run to? It's over. There's nothing these clowns can do except for what they're doing. A lot of them are running like rats. A lot of them are singing like John McCain. They know. And you're going to see a lot of suicides here in the next few weeks, few days and weeks. Where I'm sitting, guys, this is all good. And it's only going to get better. Man's greatest age, greatest transfer of wealth in human history. We're already seeing it in the markets. We're seeing it in the crypto markets. The precious metals are starting to come up. And just wait till you see what happens when it goes down. When the swamp goes down, the reset's declared, or it happens organically with a collapse. Wait to see what happens to the prices. July is going to be huge. July and the rest of the year going to be huge. Rita, Lee Graves, how you doing? Michael, Kevin, Christine, Arthur, Bob Logue, how you doing? Yeah. remember, guys, Mike's mom had an accident and broke, I think, a couple of vertebrae. So we're all praying for her. Yeah. Litecoin 123, guys. Listen, it's the best gamble you'll ever take in your life. Spend $125. Analysts believe by 2024, Litecoin could be $3 million. It's $123. When are you ever going to get a chance like that? This isn't like the lottery, where only a few people or one person is going to win out of millions. Everybody's going to win with Litecoin. The question is, how high is it going to go? That's the only question with Litecoin. And the same with silver. You won't have the same return on investment with silver, but it's still, if you're leery about cryptos, go with physical silver. But you should have both. And here's the thing, guys: for $500, you can set your family up for the rest of your lives. If you can hold $500 of Litecoin and physical silver by 2024, and hold it till 2024, you probably never have to work another day in your life, and your kids will probably never have to work another day in their lives. A couple $100 of physical silver, 1964 or older dimes, or 90% silver, Roosevelt dimes, and then $300 worth of Litecoin. You could be a millionaire for $500. Don't miss out. Joan, how you doing? My daughter and son-in-law. Chad, Rita. Yeah, they're all going to be in jail. Technically, I believe. So Rita's asking if Biden is the Democratic pick, and I'll tell you why he won't be. But if he could bring in Obama as his VP. Well, here's the thing. I don't think he could, because if he wouldn't be eligible, because you've got to be available to serve as president if you're the vice president, right? And he wouldn't be eligible. He's already served 2 terms. Now there might be some technicality in there I'm not aware of that would allow this, because these crazy rules they've got in politics, not for our benefit, most of them. But it's not going to happen, guys. A couple of reasons. Both Obama and Biden, I'll guarantee you, way before the 2020 election, both of them will be indicted for treason. So we don't have to worry about that scenario. You don't have to worry about any scenario, really, as far as the election. The election is a distraction right now. It's going to be a landslide. Just think about what I think is going to happen, if it happens, anytime. Doesn't have to happen on the 4th. Between now and the election in 2020, it's got to happen before then, guys. It's got to happen before the end of the year. The Democratic Party is done. Not only are they not going to have a chance in the election, I believe probably before the election, the mainstream media and the Democratic Party is destroyed. Who do you think the world is going to blame when this stuff comes out? When the pedophilia comes out? Who are they going to blame? They're going to blame the Democratic Party mostly and the mainstream media, because the Democratic Party is the driving force behind this. Even though there's Republicans involved, Republicans are not clean in this deal. So, people are going to be really upset. And then, of course, with the mainstream media, because people have naively believed that if anything was going on, the mainstream media would tell us about it. That's what their job is, right? They're there to let us know, to sniff these things out when they see something going on that's not right, and report it to us. Treason. These people have betrayed their trust. They betrayed the Constitution. They've got special protection in the Constitution to allow them to do this job, and they betrayed us. So you tell me, and look at the ratings. What do you think's going to happen to the ratings when this all comes out? It's over. Not a chance in hell. Joan, hello? Yeah, in jail. Rita, don't, trust me. Rita, this is a good example. Rita planted a seed today, because trust me, she made enough of an impression. When this goes down, these people are going to be, I guarantee you, very apologetic and thankful that Rita cared enough to stick her neck out. Yeah, guys. For those that you don't know, it's old news, but Michelle Obama is really Michael Obama. That's going to come out too. Yeah, it's a man. Yeah, and Rita, everybody's right here. Don't take it personal, Rita, because we've got to expect that. That's kind of the reaction I expect. That's what I'm waiting for. And if it's anything other, it's good. And I'm the thing that's and I've said this before, but it's like it's every single day it's getting easier with people because they want information. They see it. They know something's not right. And remember, guys, if you're going to do this, have a plan. Try and use the 911 AE911truth.org and Building 7. That's the easiest way to get through. When people say you're crazy, okay, if I'm crazy, explain to me Building 7 on 9/11, and then see what they say. Put it back in their court, because you know it's going to happen. If they take you up, they're going to run into a brick wall, because it's evident. There's hard evidence that these were, it was not planes that brought these buildings down, guys. I mean, it's a scientific fact. Never in history has a concrete building come down because of a fire, and that's what they're trying to say about Building 7. Remember, 3 buildings went down in New York on 9/11. The 2 towers, and then Building 7 came down in the evening, supposedly from a mysterious fire that got started. Oh, wait. What amazing luck. On the same day that 2 planes hit 2 of the buildings, and I think there's maybe 7 in the complex, whatever is irrelevant, but there's multiple buildings. But on the same day, 2 buildings get hit by a plane, and in another separate building, a mysterious fire starts in the basement that then causes that building to collapse, which is the first concrete building in history to collapse because of a fire, plus thermite in all the debris, plus nuclear waste in all. They've used a mini nuke on these buildings, guys, or mini nukes. It's incontrovertible. These are facts. The planes did not bring down those towers on 9/11. So that's, to me, it's always been the best place to start with people. When they want to call you crazy, okay, I'm crazy, explain it to me. It shuts them up real quick, because they can't. And we don't want to really shut them up, but then you take it to the next level. Okay, so here's what did happen. And if they watch the video, they're going to get a pretty good clue. I'm not going to get in the middle of a family argument. That's good, Simona. You want as many as you can get, as much silver as you can get. And don't forget the Litecoin. Get the Litecoin at Coinbase. Anybody who is unfamiliar with the crypto process, just message me. But you're going to get it at Coinbase, Coinbase.com. It's on our website or on the page, on the Watchmen page. And you know what? This is another good point. I think that we should create a Watchmen page, not a Watchmen, a Watchmen website. So anybody who knows someone who would be willing to help out to do something like that, please have them get in touch with me. With everything going on, who knows how much longer they're going to let us run? Because I'm not backing down for the political correctness. I'm going to say what it is, and if they want to shut us down, they'll shut us down. But they're not going to. On this page, they're not going to have the power to shut me up unless they shut us off. So then the alternative is going to have to be a website that people can go to. So again, anybody knows someone, let me know and message me, please. Yeah, I believe the president has got this all lined up out. The president's been 10 steps ahead from day one, since before he announced they were 10 steps ahead. This plan, I told you guys one of my theories, I think, Friday. I think one of two things happened that led to the same thing. Either somebody went to JFK Jr., somebody that was maybe loyal to his dad, and let him know, because he was going to run for that New York Senate seat that Hillary Clinton won in 1999. He was going to run for that. And then we had the plane go down, right? He went to talk to Bill Clinton that year before this happened. And he had all the evidence on who murdered his dad, which was Bush 41. Bush Sr. is the one who planned JFK's assassination. He had all the evidence. And also his uncle, right? Robert. Clinton basically threw him out of his office. So either he realized at that time, if this was going to happen, he needed to start then, and it was gonna, and he knew this was a daunting task. It's taken at least a couple hundred years to get them to this state, the deep state, the globalist. So a 20-year plan, when you think about it, getting all the right people in all the right places would be phenomenal. And when you look at how the precision this thing has been played out, pretty amazing. And if that's true, to me, that means that Q is JFK Jr. Doesn't it make, and think about it. When Q first started, what did he say? You'll never believe who this is. You never believe who's talking to you. I mean, can you imagine? Would anybody in the world pick JFK Jr.? At that time, in the first stages of Q, we all thought he was dead, right? Even though it was suspicious, nobody's seen it for 20 years. Naturally, that's what everybody thinks. And then now go into where we are. Just think the D classes come out. These D classes are devastating. I don't know whether it's going to come out now, but I've heard a couple of different sources that I trust say that they have evidence that there was an assassination attempt planned. They have evidence of this, and that it goes all the way to Obama. Even if that's not true, we know that the treason is going to go to Obama. The FISA treason is going to go against Obama. There was an organized conspiracy to remove a duly elected president of the United States. And you can bet more than 20 people in the Obama administration will be charged with treason. Mainstream media, if you colluded, if you helped to move this plan forward and you knew about the plan, you will be charged with treason. The penalty is execution. And I think that's why so many of them are squeaming and whining. And I think that's why they're fighting so hard right now. And why they're sticking to that Russian collusion fantasy, because it's all they have left. And once they stop that, they're going to hang or be in prison for the rest of their lives. And because they knew early on, well, there's two things. They've got the NSA and military intelligence have every phone call, not phone call, email, text message of every person in the United States for at least the last 20 years, and I believe it's the last 30. So they've got all of this documented. They've got all of the conspiracy between Clinton and Rosenstein and Lynch. They've got it all. The charges are going to be, some of these people are going to have over 100 charges and multiple treason charges, including Obama and Clinton. It's a target-rich environment for Barr and the DOJ right now and the White Hats. They're cleaning up. Trump is amazing. And I believe where I started to go is that's why I've been saying, guys, do not take this as a reason not to prep. But I don't think that the stores are going to be shut down for a week. I just don't see it happening. I think he's got all of his ducks in a row. I think he knows kind of where this is going to go, and he's got everything in position to handle it. Thanks, David. Yeah, it's going to be crazy on the economy, and I think it's going to be crazy on the swamp side. And that's the other reason to prep, guys. We were just talking about that with some relatives over the weekend. Just say, I'm wrong. Almost any place you live in the United States, you should be prepped for, like here, earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes. You got tornadoes, hurricanes. Everybody should be prepped. We've got the possible EMPs they're warning us about. Again, I don't think it's terrorist attack. I think it's maybe Nibiru. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Extremely dangerous issue. I think it's going to be relatively easy pass. This thing supposedly comes around there's variations anywhere between 360 and 3,600 years. Really doesn't make any difference. It's come around before. I think it's come around again. I'm not seeing big problems there. So, Bill Clinton's real last name is Rothschild, I think, either Rothschild or Rockefeller. Yeah, he's a bloodline. He changed his name supposedly. Charlie, how you doing? JC, Randy Majors, how you doing, Randy? Wally, hello. Yeah, you get about 14 dimes to an ounce of silver, guys. And that's why I recommend getting the dimes because they're going to be easier to barter with if you need them. So like a dime is like 1/14 of an ounce. So if an ounce of silver goes to over $1,000, which I think it will before the end of the year, just think about needing a loaf of bread, carrying around an ounce of silver. What are you going to do? The dimes, obviously, it's worth less because there's less of it, makes it easier to barter. And with a dime, you can snip off pieces because trust me, if this goes down, almost every store will have a scale because there are a lot of people using silver, I think, depending on, you know, how prepared President Trump is. Um, it, Listen, coins, if they are truly silver, it doesn't make any difference if they're U.S. or not. The U.S. coins are better because people know what they are, right? They know what a Roosevelt dime is. That's a U.S. dime. They know it's 90% silver. The problem when you have coins come from other countries, they're going to be okay. You're going to be able to use them, but it's going to be maybe more difficult because they're not going to be maybe easily recognized by the general public. So that's why I say the dimes. And trust me, when this goes down, people are going to get educated really quick on cryptocurrencies and precious metals out of necessity. And you guys are miles ahead of the crowd. Yeah, so the nickels, remember guys, nickels don't have any silver in them. So you can, silver's in the dimes, quarters, and halves, and I believe there's some dollars too. The problem when you get to the dollars, though, you're kind of in the same boat if there are any available even. They get so big that it becomes an issue of bartering. It makes it more difficult. So that's why I say dimes. 1 ounce silver rounds and dimes. That's what you should be buying with physical silver. And then Litecoin from Coinbase. It's simple. Almost everybody's got a dealer close to them. If you don't, we've got SD Bullion and JM Bullion that have great prices. Buying it over the internet. Use a credit card or debit card, whatever. I would recommend calling both places to get the best spot price. Again, anybody who's confused or has questions on any of this, feel free to message me, especially on the Litecoin and physical silver, because time's running out on these prices, guys. Jennifer, my niece. How you doing, Jennifer? Yeah, Rita's pretty thick-skinned. She can handle it. Yeah, I mean, that's a good place too, because if you mention JFK Jr. now, today, and this does go down on the 4th, what do you think? You think they might call you like, hey, wait a minute, did you know something was going down? It's a good way to open. Yeah, 64 and older. Charlie's got it. Uh, yeah, I think that the dimes I know are 90% silver. I'm not sure about the rest of them, but I thought that the quarters and halves were also 90%. So somebody in the chat, would somebody check that? Just get on the internet and make sure they're all 90%. I'm pretty sure they are. Rita, that's okay. So Rita's got a good point here. This is one of the biggest misconceptions people have. People don't realize that 3 buildings went. You'd be amazed. You will be amazed how many Americans only think that 2 buildings went down. There were 3, guys. The 2 towers plus Building 7, which was, I think, 41 stories. So you had 2 that were around 100, maybe 100 plus, and then a smaller 41 story, right? All 3 came down. The Building 7 came down in the evening, 5 or 6 o'clock that night, East Coast time. So then you could tell, well, wait a minute, no, it didn't. Show them, make them watch the video with you. And Russ Reed is going with, now this is her husband, guys. That's cognitive dissonance. People get so, I think, distraught thinking that that could happen. They just can't accept it. And they just, yeah, we're crazy because they don't know the facts. That's why this is good to use, because most people don't even understand, don't realize that Building 7 isn't one of the buildings that was hit by a plane. It just makes it that much harder for them to rationalize this, because number one, the plane's not going to take these buildings down. It's impossible. That story was stunk from day one. Well, and again, guys, that when somebody says they don't believe me, I don't want you to believe me. Watch the video. What is it, 20 minutes or a half hour long? This is what most people don't understand. Maybe the most important revelation they make in their lifetimes is that connection to our government and these criminals, these monsters, these globalists, this deep state. When you understand that, it makes the rest of it easy because you get it. They're monsters. If they'll murder 3,000 innocent Americans to create an event so that they could destabilize the Middle East, you don't think they're capable of torturing children? They just murdered 3,000 fellow citizens. And again, this wasn't just us. It wasn't just us, when I say us, the deep state. Because obviously I didn't condone this. Nobody I know would condone this. It's elements within our government. And Saudi Arabia and Mossad, Israel, right? Yeah. People who believe the plane story aren't using their head. Good, got the Litecoin. Scott and Simona. Awesome. Natalie, hello. Natalie needs to buy some Litecoin and physical silver, I bet. David, how you doing? David's been having a little bit of blood pressure problem too, so maybe we could get David some prayers today too for his blood pressure. Don't worry, David, I'm not going to stop. Not until God tells me to, one way or another. Heidi, hello. Randy Majors, My opinion, the greatest bull rider to never win a world title. One of the best. Yes, they are still, well, they're trying to, but I believe that the deep state globalists have been defeated already. So, but again, we don't let up. Yeah, here's the other thing, guys. Anything that's silver, silverware, uh, coffee pots, teapots, anything that's silver, get your hands on if you can. Now, I've been doing this now for years, 5 years now, and probably 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of the silver that you could get at like antique stores and stuff that was reasonable, it's all gone because the silver bugs, the people like me have been buying it for years, they're buying it up now, right? So it's kind of the cat's out of the bag. Really, the best thing you can do, the dimes and 1 ounce generic rounds, like the buffaloes, the Indian heads. They're the cheapest you can buy. Don't spend the money on the premium coins. I think that's a waste of money. You pay $2 or $3 more a coin, and when it comes right down to it, in 2 or 3 years, people aren't going to buy for you know they're buying because of silver. They're going to be buying because of the technology that requires silver. It's going to be huge. Again, I believe when they come out with these gold backed currencies, there's been several economists that have said that based on the money supply today and the amount of gold in the world, that gold's going to have to be around 50,000 an ounce when they declare gold backed currencies, right? Well, eventually, I believe that silver is going to surpass gold, probably within 10 years. It's not going to be the first year or two. But eventually, I believe because of the demand for silver and the technology that's going to require silver, it's going to make silver more valuable than gold. That's the other reason I'm recommending gold. Even if it doesn't, even if it just keeps its historical ratio, which is 10 to 1, for several thousand years now, gold comes out of the ground 10 to 1, 10 ounces of silver to every ounce of gold. You trades 10 to 1 for hundreds and thousands of years, not hundreds and thousands, but hundreds or thousands of years. For sure, in the last 150 years, it's been 10 to 1 on average. It's 85 to 1 now. If we don't do anything else, silver will outperform gold 8 to 1 because it is eventually going to go down when the manipulation is removed. It's going to go back to its natural ratio of 10 to 1, how it comes out of the ground. That's what the price should be, and that's what it will be. If you just figure that gold-backed currency makes gold 50,000 an ounce, what's 10% of 50,000? That puts gold at $5,000, I think, within a couple of years. So, yeah, silver. I'm sure silver will be at $5,000 if gold is at 50. If we're going in that 10 to 1 ratio. Bottom line, I believe that Litecoin's going to be the better return on investment, hugely better. But you guys all have to decide for yourselves. And I think you should have a little bit of both. I'm heavily weighted towards the Litecoin personally. I'm probably, 70-30 Litecoin to silver. But I just believe that Litecoin is going to soar. To me, cryptocurrencies are the future of money. And I believe Litecoin is going to be the currency that's going to be the easiest. It's the fastest. It's very secure. I just think it's going to be the most usable coin. And they're all, Bitcoin's going to be great. Ethereum's going to be great. Those three are going to be awesome. But you got to look at return on investment, especially if you don't have a lot of money to invest. You got to make sure you get it in the right spots to get the best return on investment you can get. So, that's Litecoin, physical silver. Gary's been getting it through SD bullion. That's good. I know Rita can handle it. We all should be ready right now. Yeah, I'm actually, guys. Good news is, on I take my blood pressure every after every show, and usually it's up there. It's usually 170 plus over around 90. And for the first time in a while, it was down on Friday. It was down like in the 140s, like over 78. So I hope I'm getting a handle on this. I think that maybe that we increased the dosage. It's been close to 2 weeks ago, 10 days or so now. So hopefully that's kicking in. So I think, as far as the blood pressure goes, we're out of the danger zone. So JC, also, guys, look at the Murrow building. That one's a little bit more obscure, and the evidence isn't as clear cut. But there's no question that was also a deep state operation. Okay, Ryan, thanks. I'll get a hold of you. That's it, guys. Working together. We're gonna get this done. Unity, pulling together. Where we go one, we go all. That's right, Travis. Yeah, Denny Flynn. I'd put. Yeah, those are the two guys. Denny Flynn, Randy Majors. Two of the greatest. Never win a world title. Stick it on them. You know, timing in the rodeo world. This is kind of off subject, but it might help my blood pressure. When you look around, a good example for me is George Paul. Just think about two things. Donnie Gray, you know, it can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but just based on record, you got to consider him the greatest bull rider of all time. But think about this for a second. George Paul doesn't die in that plane crash. Does Donnie Gay get 8 world titles? I don't think he does, because George Paul was also a hell of a bull rider, and God, what did he go 79 straight? I think he rode all but one bull one year. Think about that. I never be done again. I guarantee you that. That will be a record. I don't think it'll ever be broken. Well, now, guys, they call it trash silver, but that doesn't mean it's trash. Trash silver is going to be worth thousands of dollars. So if you can get your hands on it at a good price, buy it. Don't be worried by what they call it. It's silver, and it's going to be worth a lot of money. Yeah, well, I think I, I I think silver might be $100 next month. I mean, listen, guys, when they when it comes out, they reset the economy, or even Hillary or Obama's arrested, it rocks the world. It's going to rock the economies. These the worldwide economy. A breeze is going to knock this house of cards over. It's not going to take anything, for sure. It goes out on the wires that Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton got arrested. What do you think is going to happen to the markets? I mean, they're falling apart because of tariffs. We're talking about a former president of the United States being arrested for treason. Yeah, the economy's not going to survive it. And plus everything else. Well, Travis, I'll tell you, I think JB Mooney has the potential to be the greatest ever, but he's got to win more world titles. I mean, that's just how it goes in any sport, right? I mean, that's really where you have to start if you're going to try and talk about the greatest of all time. And JB, listen, and I, the big difference with the PBR, in my opinion, and the PRCA, if you want to like compare this era with the PBR and the era from say the '70s when Donnie and Randy and Denny Flynn were all riding, well, the difference was that you might go to rodeos all year and never get on something like Bodacious, right? Where if you are in the PBR, you're getting on those bulls. It's like the NFR every single weekend. And that's the downside to me to the PBR is that the caliber of bull is so advanced today that these guys don't get a day off. And you just can't get on those bulls every weekend and think that you're not going to get mucked out. It's just a lot more dangerous for these guys. And it's going to shorten the careers. So that's why, it's going to be, can JB Mooney stay healthy for a few more years and, get a few more world titles? If he's got 4 or 5 PBR titles, then you could make an argument, I think, between him and Donnie. But that's a long ways off. Those things are, just what those guys got to go through. A lot of rank bulls. Anyway, let's get back on topic. Yeah. Well, and Jody JC's got a good point. Jack Wiseman, Jimmy says, and I didn't know this, but he said he rode over 100 head. But here's why Jack's never going to be compared with any of these other guys, because he rode in the IPRA. And I'm one of these guys. I don't necessarily believe that, everybody, especially when I was going in the '70s, there was this big, you call in the other association, amateur associations. Listen, by definition, you get paid when you get on, you're a professional. Yeah, there's different levels, and I'm going to be the first one to admit that, the PRCA is more prestigious than the IPRA. You can't deny it. So you can't really, I don't believe, they're never going to be compared the same. I mean, sure, you could argue that he got on his rank of bulls, but you're not going to get very far with that argument. Now, PRCA, PBR, in my mind, I would put a PBR world title above a PRCA world title, especially if you're talking about today, because today, most of the top 50 guys in the world in the bull riding are riding in the PBR. So you have a overall, I think, better caliber cowboy, overall better caliber bull, if you go rodeo in, rodeo out. So you got to look at all those things if you're going to... yeah, and Sage Kimchi, he might break Donnie's record. I mean, and again, if him and Donnie are tied, I'm going to give Donnie the edge, because Donnie did it when everybody in the top 100 was going to PRCA rodeos. And so, that's what kind of takes away, is you kind of got the talent split a little bit, no matter what you want to say about who's better. It's split. You can't deny that. So, anyway, let's get off the bull riding. Back to business. Okay. Guys, remember, push the unity. Time is running out. Don't procrastinate. This is the time we pay it forward. This is crunch time. Be positive. Beware of the cognitive dissonance. You start to see that glazed over look, that pause on the other end of the line. Stop. Go back to the beginning. Push. the positive aspects of this. We need all these things to happen. The swamp has to drain. The world's never going to change unless it does. The economy has to come down, whether it's organically or it's a reset. To me, again, I've said before, reset makes the most sense. It's going to be the less confusing for people, and I think it's going to be less chaos. So please like and share these live chats. Please like and share any for the next till this happens, whether it's the 4th or after. Until it happens, really think about posting as much positive content as you can. Again, from now until it goes down, we've got to plant as many seeds as we can, and everything you post can plant a seed. I think I'm going to leave it here, guys. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are still 100% in control. We'll see you at the next one. God bless.